Hey everyone, Double Down Music here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to produce like Human After All era Daft Punk. And stay to the end because this is what it's going to sound like in the end. So the most familiar part of Human After All is that vocoder. They use it in every single song on the Human After All album, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if Make Love, I think that might have been a live vocal, but here I have this is built in with GarageBand. This is the retro robotics sound. I'm using the first preset that comes up. This is in the Alchemy Synth, the lead section. This is the setup for all the knobs. And the release is a bit high, a bit of decay, but no attack. This is what it sounds like. Sounds a lot like the vocoder they used in their album. This is the EQ, cut out some of the bass frequencies, and I also hired a bit of the mid and a bit of the treble. Moving on, I have this drum loop that I found in the Apple Loop section over here. This is Disco Dreams verse drums, just a basic 4 on the floor beat with a bit of compression and extra kick. And I hired a bit of the mids, the treble, and the bass frequencies, and I added a bit crusher. Next, I added a bass line, so right over here. Just a really basic bass line. I don't even know if it follows the root notes of the chords, but this is what it sounds like. Not really bass, but I hired everything. And obviously, to avoid clipping, I put a peak limiter on it. And I also put some compression on it as well. And just turned that down a little bit. Next, I added these synth basses right over here. Fuzz Sweep Bass preset. Phase mutation, just the first one. Turned up all the distortion. Keep the cutoff the same. Keep the phaser the same. Turned up a bit of the morph and a bit of all the mutate. And none of these should be touched over here. And I also added some master phasing. Let's actually see what that sounds like with the master distortion, though. I've never heard that before, actually. There's not really any difference. Yeah, there's no difference. Anyways, I also added a flanger and hired a bit of the bass, the mid treble, the mid frequencies, and some treble. Doubled it because this is a monophonic synth. So this is what it sounds like with the harmony. Then I added some rock guitars right over here. Also doubled the track. They're not monophonic, but it's just a little bit harder to play because these are actually the real guitar things over here, not just the keyboard. I usually use the keyboards. I also put this one back a little bit, so it sounds like I'm strumming the strings. I also added some reverb and a bit of an echo, and I hired a bit of the treble and a bit of the mid. Then I added this cool little bass line. Sounds like it's from the TB303. I used a free plugin you can get on the App Store called Primer 2. Very useful synth plugin. You can basically make any sound with it. I'm using the Acid Lead LFO, I believe, right over here. This is all the synth presets and stuff. I actually did it myself so it could sound like the defunct synth bass. From Daft Punk's first hit back in 1994, I think. But this is what it sounds like. Takes a lot of inspiration from that one sound from Robot Rock, that sound. And then I added some distortion, because that also, they added some distortion for the funk, for that synth bass and a flanger. I also hired the bass, the mid, and the treble frequencies. Now altogether it should sound like this. Yes, it may be a little bit repetitive, but that's basically what Human After All was. Very repetitive, very gritty, cold and distorted. But just to add a little bit of my own twang, I added that bass line over there. They usually didn't add live bass lines in that album because they only had an 8-track recorder for that one, but here's what it sounds like. Well, I hope you found this tutorial useful. If you want to have any of your GarageBand projects sound like Human After All. This song is on my newest album, my newest release, Baby. It's on the channel right now. Go check that out if you want to. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.